Well, welcome back, my friends, all to another rousing rendition of Choir Boys Outdoors doubleheader today, bringing you unprecedented two blockbuster reviews. Now, listen, this is the Dune. It is from Beavercraft. I'm digging this knife. Now, I've got to tell you and be honest with you up front. They sent this to me to check out. I'm glad they did. You never know about a company until you get a knife in hand, right? I got this in hand. I did the testing of it yesterday. I'll be honest with you, the biggest thing that I'm impressed with is how well it's held an edge. It came razor sharp. I'm going to put a link to it in the description if you want to go check it out. Now, the link is to Beavercraft's website. If you want to check that out, you can do that. This is the Dune. It's 1066 steel. I'm not sure. I don't know if I'm not sure. I don't want to guess on the wood. I did not look any of it up. I didn't want to. I wanted just to get into the review and see what I could come up with here. Now, the overall length is 10.5. It's got a 5-inch blade with about a 4 7/8 cutting edge. The handle scales, and this is the actual handle scales, are right at 5.5. The inner grip on this bad boy is twofold. Okay, so the inner grip is 4 inches, but they've crafted the pommel in such a way it gives you another inch. So literally any hand in the world can hold this. It looks like it's about 1/8 inch thick on the blade stock. The handle thickness is right at 3/4. Now it tapers up at the bottom, or tapers out, right? So I'm going to do the width of the handle. At its narrowest part at the top, it's right at, let's see, so the width, not the thickness, but the width is right at 15/16. And then when we go to the bottom, it's actually 1 3/8. So it flares out. Now, let me just say this. This handle is absolute perfection for me. Okay. I like pistol grip handles to begin with, but here's what I found about pistol grip knife handles. A lot of times, man, they feel good in hand. They look pretty cool. They feel good in hand, and the looking cool is just a personal opinion. But when it comes to using the knife, you really have to use your whole skill set to use it. It's not an easy knife to use. What Beavercraft has done with this thing is they've taken kind of that pistol grip, that forward cant design, right? But they've made it highly functional. Kirk loved using this knife. I love using this knife. It is a slicer's dream. It's nice, it's light, it's well balanced. And the thing is this, it's got a sweet, sweet, sweet spot on it when it comes to cutting. Now, they did a phenomenal job on their edge. It came razor sharp, and we try to show that a lot, like with slicing paper. And when I did the unboxing, I sliced a lot of paper. And what that does is that just tells us where we start the edge. Why is that important? Here's what a sharp knife tells me, right? From the manufacturer. When you get a knife in and the edge is good and sharp and crisp, here's what it tells me. They took the time to go the extra mile and pay attention, right? A lot of times people, and I've heard certain knife makers say, well, if you want it sharper, you sharpen it. Well, that's shitty. It really is. To me, and maybe I get where, a knife maker or something like that doesn't make it super laser sharp. But if people are spending money for a knife, and when you buy a knife, you're buying a knife with the understanding that it's sharp, unless it's just a blank, right? What Beavercraft at least has done with this one, this is the first one that they've sent me, and I'm hoping to get more, because I'm going to tell you, the handle, and I'm going to keep coming back to it, the handle, even like right there, slicing up that little air potato and getting some really, really thin strips. Man, the handle was just conducive to that. It was easy to get the proper grip, put my thumb on the pommel and stab. And I'll be honest with you, there's no huge guard on this knife. I mean, to me, this is a camp knife. This is a food processing knife. You could skin with it. It looks kind of like a drop point. You could skin with it. You could cape with it. You could fillet with it. You can defend yourself with it, certainly. But it has a lot of attributes that I really, really like. The grip on the pistol with that slight curvature. I think what they've done is they elongated it, right? Like a lot of times, and I can think of a couple different knives that I've got that, but they're more of a true kind of pistol grip, and it feels okay. But when you go to do certain things, you have to turn your hand, manipulate your hand. While I was using this knife, I was able to use a bunch of different grips. I was able to swap grips quickly and effectively without a lot of fanfare. It held up to do what everything I needed it to do, right? From cutting this hose. And now this hose was actually Kirk's water hose for about 100 years. That thing is solid as a brick bat. Now that sounds silly with water hose, but good Lord, that's some tough shit to cut. Now, this is Kevlar fire hose. And I say this a lot. If you're new here, I highly encourage you to watch the video, but go back, turn the volume off, put your favorite music on, and just watch the knife work. This one's impressive, okay? The other thing is this. I'm not trying to baton it through a nail or a post or concrete. This is a cutting tool. It is made for slicing, carving, cutting. That's what this knife is made for. It's not made to chop a tree down. It's not a chopper. You can baton with it. We do some of that. I don't think this knife is made to do heavy batoning. I think it could handle it 1, 2, 3, 10 times. You just have to be careful with the heavy stuff. I do think it is meant for some lighter batoning if you're trying to get some kindling, some tinder, or you're just trying to strip away wet wood. We had wet weather all day today. I built a fire, and this is God's honest truth. I built a fire at work, put it in a 5-gallon bucket. I used the Dune all day long to actually slice up some, not only lighter knot, but we've got those, y'all have seen the dunnage that I use. They're not really 4x4s, but it's like landscape timber dunnage. They're made out of pine. I use this knife all day long, slicing thin strips to get them going. I started a couple fires. The other thing that I wanted to point out about the handle was this. Since it fits and contours to my hand, I ran the review yesterday, no hot spots, no problem. But I probably use this knife twice as much today. I seriously cut up that much wood that I didn't get it on camera because I wasn't thinking in that mindset. Honestly, this thing, and I'm just, again, what I'm probably going to do is buy me 2 or 3, maybe 4 of these, put them in different bags. I'm working as I go. I don't really prep or anything like that, but I do love camping. I love the outdoors. I love hiking. I love kayaking. And I usually take a different bag each time. It has different stuff in it. I'll probably get me 2 or 3 of these, maybe 4, and put them in those bags. These are phenomenal knives. And truthfully, you could carry this, a small camp axe or a medium camp axe, a saw, and you'd be set. I know here in Florida, I could take a folding saw, this knife, and a small camp axe, and I wouldn't need anything else, right? I love the knife. I touched on it at the beginning, and I'll say it again here. The edge held up, and if you go back and you just kind of speed through the video and look at everything we cut, it was damn near just as sharp at the end as it was the beginning. And I brought it into work today. I sliced my sandwich with it. I cut some paper with it. Now, I will say this, because of the edge it was so sharp and come in, it was a little thinner. There was some slight rolls in 2 places after the batoning and after cutting some of the reinforced stuff. Once I cut the paper, now realize I cut my sandwich, I cut the paper at the end of this video, I cut a piece of paper today at work. That's all with two small little flat rolls in it. After I was done with all that, I took my strop, I stropped them right out of there. No damage, no chips, no dings. I was very, very, very impressed. Guys, listen, there was a time in this country where 22 veterans a day took their own lives. Now, we talk about this every day, every video, and we're always going to. That's why here on this channel, we focus on the number 0. The number fluctuates. The real number fluctuates between 15 and about 29. We focus on the number 0. Vets, we love you. Man, you got a place here. That's all that means. I back the blue. It's not popular. It is not popular, son. And I get it. I don't try to shove it down anybody's throat. But it's something that I believe in. And I've said this often because people say, well, back the blue till it happens to you. It's happened to me more than it'll happen to you, or more than it'll happen to most. I have my reasons, but they're not worth arguing over. You do you, boo. Finally, if you are an addict, and I am, never quit quitting. Well, some final thoughts. This knife, it reminds me a lot of like a steak knife, but I love the feel of that. I love the simplicity of it. I love the bare bones. I love the 1066. And man, if I was a bet man, I'd say it was like some kind of walnut or hardwood, something like that. The handle, it just feels great in hand. Beavercraft, man, I appreciate y'all. I'm looking forward to doing more of these because I absolutely love it. Remember, link in the description. And I'm Scab. You're not. And I'm gone, son. Y'all have a good one.